All right, we're live. Welcome in, everybody. All right, so I'm going to jump into this in just a minute. I'm going to let people come in. So, hey, Cindy, how you doing? See you there in the chat. Let us know. Let me know how you're doing in the chat. We got hot heat wave coming through Chicago. Again, if it wasn't smoke from Canada doing apocalyptic kind of skylines and things like that, and toxic air to breathe, we have now a nice little heat wave come through Chicago. And hey, Brandon. Oh, hey, what's up? Hey, Cindy. Yeah, I want you all, if you can, I'll repeat this a couple of times. Put a 1 in the chat if you saw um, leads slow down this summer for you. Historically, it's been a little bit slower, especially in July. I'm curious if your leads slowed down in July. Put a 1 in the chat if you can. And I'm just really, yes, Cindy. Oh, yeah, thank you, Brandon. Man, I got some data. I got some data for you. Yeah, lots of ones for people with leads slowing down. Yeah, before we start jumping into websites, doing some website feedback, live breakdowns, I'm going to share a little research that I dove in this week. In this because, I had a crisis of faith this week or last month when our leads at Kid Matters went down pretty low, and I'm going to show you that. Yeah, go ahead, Cindy. Check your Therasast. Let us know how your leads went in July. But yeah, thanks for jumping in. Got a lot of really great submissions here, and I have things pulled up ready to go. I'm using a new tool that I'm going to share with you guys. It isn't a Therasast tool, but it's something that I'm trying out as it relates to what was going on with the lack of traffic in July. And then I'm going to show you some things that I think could be helpful as it relates to AI search. So lots of good questions that came in. And again, all right, so you got some people coming in. I have 8 here on the stream. I'm not sure how we're doing on the oh yeah, Brandon, we might be able to jump in. Yeah, if you guys are live on the program, I'll live on the stream. I'll try to check out your websites as well. So I'm going to go through this pretty quick. All right. So welcome to the webinar, the old and the AI, what's really happening. So before we jump in, a couple things, or we jump into websites and we do some breakdown. I'm going to be speaking at the Wise Practice Summit in Nashville in October, the early part of October. And so please go to the Wise Practice Summit Nashville. Just Google that and see if you'd be interested in going to it. It's for faith-based practice leaders. I've ran into Cindy there before. And I'm going to be talking about how to rank your website on AI search platforms. And I promise you, this stuff is changing every week. There's more and more research coming out, and I can't even keep up with it. But I am putting out short little reels on my Facebook page and things like that. Also, I'm planning to have a Therasast subscriber dinner night. So if you're a Therasast subscriber and you're going to be coming to the Wise Summit, or you're interested to become a Therasast, I'm going to just take us out to dinner on Friday night. And you can join. You don't have to join, but I'm going to pay for your dinner. So we'd love to have you there. Cindy said, let me get where's my mouse over here? She did say June and July were low compared to August. We're actually seeing an uptick in August. So that's good. So I appreciate that. Brand's like, yeah, but you know what? This might be localized. There's some things I think that are going on as well with my stuff that I'm going to be showing you. A couple other things I want to highlight is the AI Summit for Group Practice Summer. So this is leaders, owners. Nate Hendricks and I at Navigator Bookkeeping, we're putting together, this is going to be our 4th year, and we're just focusing on AI. So go to Practice Scaling Summit and check out what we're going to be talking about. But we're going to be talking about how to leverage AI for your marketing, how to leverage AI for your finances, and how to leverage AI specifically for hiring and having a hiring pipeline. It is wizardry stuff that we're doing with AI, and we're going to show you how to do it. And so I think it's the only AI specific summit gathering for group practice owners, at least right now. So that's what we're focusing on. That's going to be March 11th and 12th. We actually feed you breakfast and lunch. We max it out at 50 people. We all get in a room. We show you how we're using AI, and then you're going to do it yourself. So you're going to walk away with lots of knowledge. And if you have a practice admin or a clinical director, bring them along as well. It's a really great team building time so you guys can get on the same page in how you're using AI, and you're going to see a lot of great other examples as well. Okay, so before I get into the website review, a couple things. I want to talk about the Kid Matters Counseling Lead Crisis. If you don't know, my wife has a private practice. We have 12 clinicians, 100% private pay. And I've been doing SEO in them for them for years and have been crushing it on SEO. We are an early mover. We have a strong niche, and just been doing it. Consistent SEO really does pay off. And so, but we had a problem. We had a problem. So I want you to look at this. Is pulled from our TheraSAS dashboard, and I just pulled it from the beginning of January. And if I go back a little bit earlier, we averaged between 30 to 50 leads a month that come in through TheraSAS. And we started to see a dip here in April. I'm going to zoom in. You can see a little bit of a dip there. We're getting below 30. And then in May, we had a dip like 20. I'm like, okay, like that's definitely the lowest end of things. June, we had an uptick. So we were probably like at 27. And then July, look at this, guys. July, we had 11 leads. Now, when I talked to my wife about this, because I was freaking out, she said, well, look, a lot of clients were coming back. Old clients were coming back for counseling. So that was good. But here's the, like that hasn't happened since like the beginning of Kid Matters Counseling 10 years ago. Now, fortunately, in August, we had an uptick. We're kind of trending back up towards that 30, which is good. But this caused me a lot of panic, and it made me do a deep dive. And I want to show you a little bit about what I discovered, what happened. A couple of things. The first thing was I had competing keywords. I was trying to rank Hinsdale Child Therapist and Play Therapist for both the homepage, actually less Play Therapy for the homepage, but definitely Hinsdale Child Therapist for the homepage. And then also trying to rank that for Susan's profile page. And so I was confusing Google. Google didn't know what to rank. And so it was constantly playing with the different pages between these two. I was kind of oscillating. And I'm going to show you the data behind that. By the way, I'm discovering more and more that Play Therapy is also semantic with Child Therapist. Google kind of lumps those together. All right, so let me show you this graph here. So I'm going to zoom in here. So we're going to look at the last 6 months. All right, so these lines are just going to represent the different web pages that Google is ranking. So this is my SEO tool, Ahrefs, that I use here. And I want you to notice this orange line and the green line. Just kind of focus on those two lines. And you'll notice here the orange line, which is our homepage, for child counseling near me. That's like a search it does, and then it pulls up where are these websites ranking, these web pages ranking. And you'll notice here right before this March, like the homepage didn't exist. Like there's a gap. And you'll notice here that the Susan's home profile page, Kid Matters Counseling - Susan Stutzman, was ranking. Google tanked it, re-promoted the homepage up to like number 3. And then as we move along, we're dipping down. This is like ranking 5 through 7 here. And Susan's profile page, you can see they're intertwining. Google's trying to figure out what page should I be ranking for this. Drop Susan. The homepage drops even more. And then it brings, so between May 15th, 20th, so maybe a couple weeks, it brings Susan back in. And then right around here, you'll notice this too. This was my freak out moment. I started making Susan's profile page, basically trying to de-rank it by not having to focus on Hinsdale Play Therapist or Hinsdale Child Therapist. And Google took that cue, dropped it, and now the homepage is back up to 2 or 3, something like that. Okay. All right. So we're figuring it out. Like now, a couple other things that are happening. There was a massive algorithm update in May. And what Joy Hawkins is doing, this is somebody I follow on X. She's basically saying there's no such thing as position 1 on Google anymore. And this is what she means. She's saying that before you could say, let's say a therapist near me, and the SEO was a bit deterministic, right? You could predictably say that you would rank number 1 or 2 all the time on that consistently. People could search that all across your town and you would consistently show up as 1. Since that May update, that's not true anymore. In fact, the rankings and the switchings are far greater in between. So you could be ranking 1, then you can rank number 4 or 5 on Google Maps. And this is or even organic. And this is especially when it comes to mobile. Her research has found after doing 8 million pages. So that's pretty significant. Between that, the summer slowdown. So there's some things that are in your control, some things are not. So why don't you, hey, Jackie, why don't you go ahead, put a 1 in the chat if you found this explanation helpful, if you're still with me, because I'm going to move into a little bit of research, and then I promise to get into the website teardown. Because the crisis of faith didn't stop with just trying to understand the SEO, but I wanted to get the data, and the data that I can only find. Thank you. Yeah. All right. So we got some 1s. The data that I can only find is unique to if you actually have Therasas. And I'm going to show you why. Good. Lots of 1s. Hey, Carrie. Good to see you. Brandon. Yep. Thank you for all the 1s. All my people. Hey, Ashley. Good to see you too. This is just like positive reinforcement to me as I'm talking in a room by myself. So, all right. Let's move on to some research here. And I'm going to be diving even more into this at the summit, the AI summit, and then also at the Wise Practice Summit. So here's what I did. The hidden ROI. So what I did, there's 2 reports that I created inside of Therasas. The first one is I said, all right, I'm going to export a CSV file to my local computer, and I want to collect all the data around everyone who's filled out a form, and they filled out that little box on the Therasas form is, how did you hear about us? I wanted that information. I wanted that, what we're talking now is self-reporting attribution. Self-reporting attribution. How did you hear us? And then I went into the, so I downloaded that and I stripped all the PHI out of it, and I kept the contact ID that Therasas creates. Every time a new contact is created, it creates an ID, just a randomized number. And then I went to the advanced reporting inside of Therasas, and I downloaded, I filtered it by forms. So everyone who's filled out a form, and this advanced reporting is going to tell you the attribution as Google sees it. So what do I mean by that? If you have UTM tracking links for Google Business Profile, Psychology Today, other places, it's basically getting all of that tracking data. And I wanted it to take that data, line it up with that contact ID, and then take that other report that I created with the how did you hear about us and merge it together. Because what I want to see is how are people hearing about us, but is there any correlation between what they're doing digitally and the word of mouth? Okay, so I got that. Hopefully you are following along there. So what did this look like? So the standard analytics tool like Google Analytics classify the vast majority of those leads, 260 leads, as direct website visitors. I'm going to be doing even a deeper, so subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm going to do a breakdown even more on what direct traffic is and why that's a good thing too. But it basically just shows up as direct traffic. It's not telling you anything else about the data other than they came to your website directly. So they put your URL, the practice URL, into the search browser and hit return. And so they're not self-reporting any other information. So it's like, all right, we have a lot of direct traffic, a lot of conversions here, but where are they coming from? So 61% of those direct traffic leads were actually from word of mouth. Again, where I'm corroborating, I'm comparing this with that other data that I had inside Therasas. How did you hear about us? Traditional SEO, 56 leads. And then we got a little bit of ChatGPT AI search coming in. So by pairing the UTM data with the Therasas intakes, we uncover a true origin of 184 direct leads. Word of mouth is actually driving the majority of traffic. This is exactly what I want. And this is exactly what I'll show you what saved us in those months. Not saved us, but like you got to diversify. You have to diversify your leads. It's crucial now because Google is messing everything up with SEO. And now you have AI overviews. Traffic is just tanking because of AI overviews now. So, and then I was like, okay, well, how did they hear about us? Pediatricians, therapists, psychiatrists, school social workers, teachers, PTO lists, school networks. Okay, I'm going to tell you this other thing. You have to be building your brand in the real world now more than ever. You want people typing your brand name into Google. It strips away all the competition. And so how do you do that? You have to embed yourself locally. And one thing that we just signed a contract for $2,000. Kid Matters did for the whole year to be a business sponsored with a link and a logo on our kids PTO newsletter. It goes out every week. 450 people get it. Let's just say for 30 weeks. All right. 450 people a week will see that. And the parents are engaged in this community. That's 13,500 impressions. So let's just say $2,000 divided by 13,500. That is 15 cents per impression, getting in front of highly qualified audience. They all have kids, elementary school age, and that's exactly what my wife did. That they serve. We also spent, I mean, that's like, back in the day, that would feel like a lot, but that's spread out for the entire year, for like, let's say the school year. We also paid a ridiculous tiny amount of money. It's like $1,200 to have a Kid Matters banner up in a local community gym for the entire year. Thousands of kids and parents go through that gym with basketball camps. So we're trying to diversify even more, okay, and embedding ourselves into the community. And we're using UTM tracking links. So if somebody clicks on that newsletter or scans a QR code on that banner, we're able to track that traffic and some ROI. Okay, other things. 51 specific leads were tracked clicking through the Google Business Profile. You have to do this specifically. You have to create these links inside the TheraSAS knowledge base. Just do like advanced tracking or UTM. So I have a whole video on this. But we're coming through Google Business Profile. Nearly 1 in 4 of those exact Google Business Profile leads self-reported as word of mouth referrals. So what does this mean? Patients receive a recommendation offline, and then they go to Google, they type in the name of your business, and then they see your Google Maps listing, and then they click on that, and then they booked. That's how it worked for Kid Matters. So now you're seeing digital and organic, that word of mouth, they are working together. This is exactly what I wanted to see. Okay, so moving along, I'm just looking at July and August leads right now. We can see that because remember, only 11 leads in July, and let's do some math, 19 leads in August, I think, or at least the survey's response. So those who had they responded to this, how did you hear about us? So you'll see here, 50% word of mouth. Word of mouth, I don't want to say saved Kid Matters, but it saved my sanity. And a lot of it others traditional. So they're working together. Okay. Here's the last slide on this. So what does this mean? For marketers, practice owners, you need to start adopting a hybrid attribution reporting. Inside TheraSAS, I got to do a video on this, but it's pretty easy to do. You can strip out the PHI and just have AI do some analysis on the how did you hear about us form or column on a CSV file. You need to have a how did you hear about us on your intake form, whether you're using an EHR or a TheraSAS. It's like standard on all of our TheraSAS forms. How did you hear about us? We'll talk about developing an LLM strategy later. Of course, this is totally AI generated, but you need to also have UTM tracking links and templates, using that across your different directory sites like Psychology Today. You want to be able to track all that, because Psychology Today will strip that link coming to your site. If you don't have one of these things, Google won't report it. And Psychology Today does some other nasty things I don't like. So, all right, there you go. Now, the reason why you all came. Cindy asked a question. Should we link? Great question. Linking. Should we link Google Business Profile to TheraSAS? I would say you have that option inside TheraSAS. I actually turned it off. I actually unlinked it from Kid Matters because Google Business spam has gotten so bad that I've just stopped it. So it just started mudding up the CRM and leads. So I just took it off. But what I do have is a link to the TheraSAS form to get started with counseling, as in the appointment link inside a Google Business Profile. Okay, good question. Yeah, throw some questions in here along. All right, I got some predetermined things I'm going to share everyone. So Kitty from Bozeman Counseling Center. Hey, Kitty. Really enjoyed Bozeman the other week or a month or so, 2 months ago. Family and I went out to Yellowstone, and we drove through Bozeman and did some. I stayed at the Feed House. The Feed was a really great restaurant there. Man, was that really good. All right, so how to really know if I'm showing up in Google searches locally? It seems Google Analytics and Search Console are generally geared to nationally, which really doesn't matter for private practice that's local. That's true. That's why you need those UTM tracking links to get some of those local traffic analytics inside of Google Analytics. And when I say that, it's like your Google business profile. Um, Google Search Console can still, you could download a report, throw it into AI, and ask it to search for any near me searches that you might show up. But I went ahead and did a couple things. One, let's just take a look at your website. And I'm going to pop this up here, which you cannot see. Why can't you cannot see the data? You can see this SEO one click up here. You'll see me clicking on these. This is the SEO, what's it called? SEO Meta one click. So I can tell that, you are trying to rank for therapy in Bozeman, Montana, just by doing a little SEO here. And your H1 is Bozeman Counseling Center. H2, find the right therapist. So I think, Bozeman counseling, you're trying to rank for those keywords. And overall, I think your SEO looks okay. I didn't do too deep of a dive, but what I did is I used this new tool. This is Local Falcon. And I was like, let's scan your website. So you can see up here, counselors in Bozeman, searching for this, and it takes your Google business profile and it's going to show you where you are ranking as it relates to Bozeman. It kind of gives you a little grid here. Belgrade was fun. I remember flying into Belgrade there, staying at a Hyatt. All right. So you actually are doing quite well. Like, this is strong. And I'll notice here, you're ranking 5. This is probably a different town, Catron. All right. So it's not Bozeman. You're down here. Proximity matters when somebody searches. And you can see your competitors, right? They're ranking number 1 right up here and 2 because I bet they're just closer, even though they have a Bozeman address. Bozeman Therapy and Counseling, very keyword rich there. But you're still outranking them. They're over here, they kind of have their little piece of the pie. But yeah, you're doing really well. That's really strong. Now, the other thing I wanted to show you is I did another keyword search, therapist near me, for Bozeman. And you notice you're not ranking as tight. Like, there's like a clear boundary line here almost. Like, I don't know what's going on. But you are ranking pretty well in this southern area. Not much up here. But I think it's because it might be a different zip code. They're different towns. So where your business is physically located is actually going to determine greatly how you rank, including your name and your category. You have counselors, your category there, which is really good. And you filled out other categories as well. This is important for you if you all are watching the replay or live. Check out your Google business profile. Make sure your main primary category is counselor or therapist or marriage therapist or psychotherapist. I would stay away from, what's the other, mental health services or something like that, because this is also keyword. This is also a ranking factor, the keywords there. So you have counselor, counseling, lots of keyword richness on it. So now, in light of the new research that just came out, can you guys, yeah, good, yeah, you can see this. In light of the new research that just came out, there's no longer put position 1. You might actually see more fluctuation. So what I have is set up in this is like I think every week or maybe every month, it's going to take a snapshot of Kid Matters along the handful of keywords like therapist near me, child therapist near me, things like that. And I'm just going to track it over the next several weeks and months and how we're doing there. All right. So hopefully this is helpful. White Spark, I'll put this in here. Spark. It's a Canadian company, White Spark, keyword tracking or something like that. You can, they have something similar, but you can track keywords like Bozeman counseling near me, therapist near me, and you can have the map along with the keyword tracking as well. So it kind of combines both. Local Falcon's just as kind of a map specialist, and I already have another tool that I use and pay for. It's expensive. It's overkill for you guys. Okay. So, all right. The next one is, let's get back to our slides. Again, ask any questions you have. Only my ads showing up and not coming up, only my ads showing up and not coming up organically. And yes, I think, where you at here? You are in Katie. Yeah. Hope you're doing well. The new baby too. I remember you. Okay. So this one's actually be pretty quick, I think. I believe you are pretty much all virtual. I don't think you have an actual physical location, Katie. So please correct me if I'm wrong. I scoured your website a bit, and I think I remember this on our demo call that hi, Katie, that you do not have a local. And the reason why you're not showing up locally is two things. One, you don't have a local business, Google business. That's going to be a massive determination for showing up locally. And I don't even know where you would be locally. I'm trying to remember exactly where you are. But you would need you would probably need to create a location-based page. Although you don't have a physical location, I would create some sort of a location. This is what I did for Kid Matters. We were not ranking in the town next to us. We're literally 1,000 feet away, but it's a different zip code and different county. And so I just created a page, child therapist serving Western Springs, and then just kind of built it out this way. Supporting Western Springs children and families from these schools, just trying to make it really local to that area. Okay. So I would think about trying to create this in hopes that you can rank it. Ranking location pages can be a little hard, but it's definitely worth a try. Okay. So hopefully that answers your question. And thanks for saying hi back. There we go. Oh, there you go. London, Ontario. Yeah. So try. It also may be worth trying to get sublease one room just so you can throw up a Google business profile, even if you're primarily 199.9% virtual. All right, let's move on to the next one. We have our question. Do we write SEO for every landing page? We have many. All right, so let's take a look here. And I have some notes for this as well. So here's your Orange County. I did some SEO. You guys have cracking awesome SEO, very strong. I think you guys have had this website and this practice. I think Kristen's been around building her practice for many years. You guys are just massive. You guys are so big. So, but good SEO on that. So let me answer your question a little bit. Do we write SEO for every landing page? We have many. Every single page should have a focused keyword. So when you say write SEO, I imagine you're going to be saying, do we have what is a particular word that you're trying to rank for, or a keyword? Sorry, I'm trying to get Katie off. So let's do this. Let's mix it up. So I want you to be able to review every one of your pages and see if there's one keyword that you're trying to rank for. Now, if you have your blog pages, those are going to be longer keywords, but your main page, your home page should be focusing on the Orange County, right? So you're going to be, let's see what happens here. The wound. Let me just do it. You're not going to see this, but let me just double check this real quick. So your title is Therapist in Orange County. You have multiple H1 tags. Our services are specializing in. So I think you're probably going to want to focus on therapy in Orange County. And our services, these are all H1. You only want one H1 heading on this. And from what I can tell, using these two little tools that you cannot see popping up, which is really frustrating to me, and I'm really sorry about that. You have our services specializing in, view our recent articles. These are all H1. You only want one H1, and then your H2 should all be saying about something about therapy in Orange County. That's the focus you want. But regardless of it, your homepage does rank for a lot. That would be my thing. Now, this is going to be for everybody now. This is a public service announcement. We used to be able to write content and just rank anything. And then AI and Google takes that content and writes its own content based on the content that you wrote and fed the machine for so many years. So Google is no longer interested in the content business. This is Cyrus Shepard. Cyrus Shepard is saying it's actually in the evidence business. They want to know your evidence. Google wants you to prove what you know. So instead of writing a blog post on 5 tips to lower anxiety, you might want to have something like my best 5 tips to lower anxiety after 15 years of counseling couples or counseling something. You see what I'm doing? The evidence, your experience. After 15 years of being a licensed therapist, these are my 5 tips to crush anxiety, right? And then you want to make sure that you say that stuff again in the blog post. That is what Google is looking for as far as like a uniqueness, the evidence of it. Okay. That's another webinar. I'm going to show what I've been doing to rank Kid Matters pages. And then again, Natalie, you're going back to your question is I would focus on your service pages and then find out what your service pages are trying to rank for. Oh, you don't even have individual therapy pages. These are all. So this is an opportunity. You can say see providers. This is an opportunity though for you to maybe dive into individual service pages and rank those. So you could have you have your work cut out for you. If anyone listening to this, instead of doing blog posts, I'd stop doing blog posts for 3 to 6 months and just focus on your service pages and building those out. Making sure you have a lot of authority there, talking about how you help couples, maybe the modalities that you use. AI is very interested in the different modalities that you use. I found that out. Okay. The other thing that I would say is the other marketing challenge. This isn't so much SEO related, but this is user experience. You have a lot of providers. And I always say this, people shop for their therapists like they do Amazon products. They want to find that product very quickly and they want to be able to trust it. So right now, there's no way for someone to find easily on this when they click on providers, couples, individual, specialists with EMDR, like none of this is here. It's all buried. And so one of the things I've been doing for premium TheraStaff subscribers is building out custom codes. Like sometimes we'll rebuild their whole website and host it and update it for them. But one we did for Amanda here is we took all their subscriber or their providers, created some very simple filtering HTML code and put it on the website. And then also making it really easy for people to consume information. I'm going to switch this here so it's a little easier to be able to see, breaking up the information so it's just not a paragraph or paragraphs of information like this here, right? People aren't going to read that. So you want to be able to spread it out a little bit. So that's something we've been doing for premium TheraStaff subscribers is writing custom code around matching for providers. And you can put that code right on your website. Okay, so hopefully that answers your question. I'm going to go over here to the comments, see if there's anything new. Nope, nothing new. All right, we'll keep it coming. Keep the questions coming. All right, so I'm going to do a couple more here. Going back to our website's been around for a while. This is Cornerstone Christian Counseling, and therefore has hundreds of pages now. Any recommendations on how to improve it for today's search and AI algorithm? Couple things. Do you have a baseline on how what AI knows about you? So what I did is I took it upon myself here we don't need this anymore, I had it inside ChatGPT. Where'd it go? 1 second. I'm going to grab a prompt and find it because it took it away. So give me a second. I'm going to find it. Because the one thing you want to know is what does AI know about you? And as I am trying to stall for time here and finding this prompt, you just take me a second here. Is one thing that it's like understanding the relationships of the different LLMs and AIs. So for example, OpenAI does not like Google. And so it will sometimes pull from Google Business Profile, but it's often going to Yelp. And I believe they just signed a multi-year license, ChatGPT did, to go with Yelp and to service the results. So here is a prompt I'm going to put in here. I'm going to make sure everyone can see this. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So Cornerstone Christian Counseling. So I'm researching Cornerstone Christian Counseling, a counseling business with locations. I'm just going to say in Colorado, but you can put in your Colorado. What the in 200 words or less, tell me what the customers say this business is known for, whether you would recommend this business for, let's say, Christian counseling. Okay. Cite the sources you're pulling in from. Can I make it think a little bit more? Let's make it think a little bit more. A counseling business with locations in Colorado. Sorry for the misspelled words. Okay. All right. So let's see here. And go ahead and just put in the chat. Put another one. Let me know you're here. Is this helpful? What we're diving into a little bit. I know we're doing kind of a hybrid of AI with websites and things like that and reviews. So as I put that prompt in, we'll see what it comes up with. And the places that it's citing, look, it's citing your website too. Let's see if it's going to show us here. Review. The pattern is fairly clear. Cornerstone's strongest differentiator is scale and breadth, while its public review footprint is surprisingly thin, even across individual locations. One thing that I am focusing on is Yelp. If you don't have a Yelp page, focus on building that out. I hate Yelp with a deep passion. I've said it several times, but now AI is just in bed with it. So, hey, look at this. Look at this. Brandon, thank you. Just subscribe to the Therasas YouTube channel. Thank you. Such a great prompt. All right. Thank you for the ones. Super helpful. Good. All right. So here, what do we find out? Cornerstone Counseling Lakewood appears to be best known for faith integrated counseling that still feels clinically professional, with reviewers repeatedly describing counselors as compassionate, wise. Now look at this. They're pulling it from your website. You can actually tell AI what to say about you. If it can't find other information from third-party sites, review sites, it's going to pull from the website. Compared with A Rising Hope Christian Counseling and Restore to Life Counseling, Cornerstone is substantially larger with 6 Colorado offices, larger clinical teams, services, EMDR, brain spotting. I just want to click on this and see what pops up. You can see it gives that UTM code or the UTM link right up there. Credible Counseling. What is this page? Is this the homepage? Oh, okay. So yeah, it's just pulling information from the homepage so far. The competitors have strong concentrated review percent. A Rising Hope shows 5.0 of 28 reviews. This might be from Google Business Reviews. You might have to look. While individual Cornerstone locations range from 4 to 5. Okay. Relatively few reviews. So I think you would need to up your reviews a bit. Cornerstone's biggest weakness is therefore is not an obvious clinical problem, but limited and inconsistent review volume. One Westminster reviewer also reported frustration with the intake and the insurance conversation. I mean, who's not frustrated with the insurance? Recommendation, yes, for someone specifically in Christian counseling. So I would just ask, like, what reviews are you referring to? Just ask it questions, okay, Irene? I think that's a good way to do it. And just see it. And then after this, we'll move on because I do want to get to a couple. Yeah, me too. Yelp are not on speaking terms. Guess who? Yeah, I mean, we had to update our Kid Matters Yelp reviews. I had to ask some friends to leave some reviews. Apple Maps is using Yelp for reviews. AI, let's see what AI is doing here. I was referring primarily to Google and Yelp style. Yelp style local. Like, what does that even mean? Yelp style location, local. There's like a local there. Castle Rock. So it's pulling in the different reviews. Yeah, I would definitely get on the review train. You guys are huge. You got to get more reviews in there. Also, the negative Westminster comment I mentioned about insurance not adequately. If you want, I can do much more rigorous Google review by review competitive. Nah, that's fine. So here's what I think you should do when it comes to the AI algorithm, Irene. Get on the reviews. You want to have a plan for reviews. You want to have a plan. Go to my YouTube channel. Man, I'm just shameless plugs here, left and right. Had a great conversation with Kate Fish on ethically get Google reviews. Okay, watch that. You'll love it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. All right. Next and last one for this series, and then we'll go into live ones. I have a lot of website visitors, but conversions are lower than they should be. Over 50%. Okay, so what I would do is when it comes to visitors, what does that actually mean? If you're looking at Google Analytics, where are they coming from? Because at Kid Matters, we have some blockbuster blog posts. Like they get thousands of views from all over the world. That traffic doesn't really concern us as much. It gets good links, but it doesn't concern us as much. So I would figure out where are they coming from? Can you narrow it down to the Illinois area? But the conversions are lower than they should be. I don't have any historical data for you or that you can share on this, but you do have a really great website. And if you're getting a lot of traffic, sorry here, I didn't pull up your site, but if you're getting a lot of traffic, I would say dive into there and where it's coming from. Where is that traffic coming from? Is it coming from out of the state? Then you won't get a ton of conversions. I just wish I had a little more data from that, Sam. So maybe you can hit me up, shoot me an email, because I know you guys are using TheraSAS. So shoot me an email and I can dive in a little bit deeper for you. All right. So review my website, therapeutic links. All right. Some things, accepting new clients, immediate opens available. I like that urgency, although it's buried up here. I'm just going to do a quick little look here. Therapy in Washington, D.C. and Maryland. Therapeutic links, behavioral health services. Where is that? Where is that word? Is that up here? I would try to make sure you're saying therapy. That's a link. That is a link to a different page. Can I even? Okay. Yeah, there's a little bit of SEO cleanup here. We you want to think about. Stay connected. Yeah. So there's a lot of H1 tags on here. You only want one. Types of therapy. I would turn these into links. So here's a great example of what we did with Amanda here. We have a simple plan, but we have like her top, you want these to be clickable if you can, learn more, very clear call to actions on where you want people to go. Same thing we did with Rose's website here when we rebuilt this for her at TheraSAS. So you just want to have very clear. I like having services towards the top because that's where people are going. And then also, if not, have your provider second. Try to humanize your site as much as possible. Your biggest sites or your most visited web pages on your website are going to be your about pages. So you want to have those dialed in. People can find clinicians quickly. And then looks like this here is a link, children 10 and up. Okay, there you go. You just want to make that more clear. I do like the pictures. I think that works okay. It's a little bit of a outdated design, but these are important for local SEO. Google's going to read your footer and see if you have local offices there. That will be important. Request an appointment. Here's something I tell TheraSAS subscribers all the time. Try to just have one call to action. Just funnel them all. Instead of offer 4 convenient ways, we think offering 4 ways is easy. 2 at the max. More than 2 gets confusing, and then your intake coordinator gets confused on where those leads are at and where they're sitting, and then they fall through the cracks. So I would complete the form below here. I would try to just do 1 or 2. Okay, so make that as easy as possible. All right, so let's get here. We're at 12:43. Let's see here, 12:43. Deb wrote recommendations on how to increase Yelp reviews. Yeah, same thing with Google reviews. Yeah, the most important thing about Yelp is you cannot give them a direct link to your profile page. Yelp, in years past, it might have changed, but if you give them a direct link, Yelp doesn't want that. They want things to organically happen. So just say, can you leave us a Yelp review? Most people have to sign up for a Yelp account to do it. But if they love you, they'll do it. And so don't send them a direct link to a Yelp. You can do that for Google reviews. People are fine with that. But use the same techniques that we found on that that video on YouTube. Same techniques, just apply it to Yelp. Try to get 1 review a month for Yelp, maybe 1 review a month for Google reviews, because recency is also important. As an LPC, is not ethical to ask online for views. Yeah, I know. Absolutely. That's why I did that really long, that on our YouTube channel on that. So practice that, have 50 plus reviews, and you know what they ask for them. I've seen a review us cards. Yeah, if you just watch this video, it tells you what not and not to do. Okay. I'm going to pause this. This whole conversation here, we go through all of that. What is solicitation? What is not? I just can't highly recommend this enough. I'll even put it in the chat. It might just show up locally here, but watch this here. Okay. You'll get tons of ideas watching that video. All right. So I'm going to go up here to the top here. All right, Cindy. Light the way. Light the way. You know, we've already kind of started putting your site together a little bit. Okay, a couple things right off the bat here. My eye, I don't know exactly where it goes. It's a little busy in this background. I would make this way more a darker transparent. So similar to what we did here with this, you just have a darker transparent so the words pop a whole lot easier. Okay. So I would do that to start with. Just a quick little SEO, light the way. I'm looking at counseling, joy, and hope. Life can seem overwhelming. So what I would say, none of these are keyword rich for your H1. So I would definitely update your H1s and make it ranking for where you want it to. Let's just do this here. Okay. New Jersey. Let's just go over here to Local Falcon. Let's try this. Do this real quick. Quick scan. I won't do this for everyone because this costs money. Light the way. What's this here? Light the way. See if your Google business profile shows up. Yep. 22 reviews, 3.4. That's something you want to get. You want to get that up to 4 for sure. Get that up as close as 4 as possible. You're utilizing posts. That looks good. Counselor Midland. Okay, got it. So let's just go over here. Light the way. I want to do a search. Light the way counseling. Let's see if it just pops up. Well, that might take a minute. But as far as this goes, your navigation looks good to me. And I think I talked to you about this going to our team, like having an easier way to filter the team, I think could be really helpful. Love that you have videos. That's huge. Super important. I can't tell you not how many times people watch the videos that we've created for our clients in the past. All right. So I would say focus on the homepage. The other thing I would do, absolutely take these off. These are exit buttons. Bury these in the footer. Facebook, YouTube, just put them in the footer. Just bury them. I want people to stay on your website as long as possible. And of course, I think this goes to their assess form, which is great. Let's go over here, Light the Way counseling right here. So let's just say I'm going to add this one location, and then let's go to a keyword here. Sorry, Light the Way. And we're gonna not do a 5-mile radius. Let's just do a 4-mile radius, 7 by 7. We're just gonna say counselor near me. Let's do therapy. Yeah, let's just do that. We'll run the scan. Run that one scan. Use some credits. All right. So as that's happening, we'll come back to that in a minute. But I think I think you could remove the blog too and put in the footer. But lots of good pictures of people. I think this looks good. All right. Next. Brandon. All right. Online therapy in we got another Maryland, lots of Maryland. Okay, that's good. We got, I can tell you already, online therapy. There you go. That's your H1. That looks good. Lots of H2s. So your technical SEO is looking all right. One thing I like to check too is you can do this for yourself. Just go to page speed. Page speed loading times is also really important. So we could check that out. And let's see here. You are virtual, so you would not have a Google business profile. Yeah, I like that. Meet your team. Got some good buttons there. Okay, let's jump into this one. This is fascinating. So my wife does a lot of trauma work. And so I've been trying to figure out different ways that I can speak to AI to prove, like show the evidence, right? Showing Google. So you definitely have a lot on here. And then PTSD trauma. Are these all different pages? These are just buttons that don't do anything. So what I would do is I would try to find ways to easily, I would work with ChatGPT or something on this. Healing beyond, because not a lot of people are going to read this. AI probably will, but you want to figure out that balance of how you work, how do you work with someone who's got trauma? Maybe kind of walk them. If you have a little video on this, I think that could be helpful. Childhood trauma. These are almost could be like little subsections underneath here. So I would think about spreading this out. PTSD and trauma, have some facts underneath here. Another line, attachment trauma. Boom. Just like another section. It's all H2. These should be all H2s, right? This should be an H1. Yes, sir. Good. I'm looking this. You can't see that on the screen, but I'm looking at it. So that all looks really good. But break this out. Build this out. Have somebody like your experience as a therapist. Remember talking about how many years you've been doing this, any certifications that you might have. If I go to meet the team, I'm just going to go to you here, Brandon. Not accepting clients. Let me read more. That pops up. Let's see. You want these to have all your clinicians have their all individual pages. Get rid of the pop-ups. Have them all individual pages with their own, like online therapist Maryland. And then the next part of that slug up here will be Dr. James or Miss Messericola. It's a cool name. So what I would do is I would build out their pages with a profile. What do I mean by that? Well, similar to what we've done with Rose's page with the therapists, right? We put these little chips up here. Put some of the education. Another thing I found that people are doing that AI might like is your MPI number. Again, they're trying to corroborate, are you a real therapist? Can I trust you to recommend you? Some people, we've been putting MPI numbers, even licensure things on there as well. Okay. All right. So let's go back to the page speed view here. Okay. Yeah, this is actually really strong. Google's really critical. So this is actually looking really good. Let's jump back over to Light the Way. So, yep, Cindy, I know this is probably a huge area. We might be able to zoom in a little bit more for Midland Park, but you could definitely use some work in the local SEO area. Okay. So that's maybe a little bit bigger project, but getting to know this area too, because I'm seeing the way Google draws the line. So, man, these city names are wild. Okay, Ridgeland, Wharton Dyke, Hohokus, like these all might be different towns, and you may only be able to rank really well through here. But I would start to think about getting some location pages, like, but you do rank number 1 there, so that's good. If I click on this here, here's like your different competitors. Okay. I know we're getting at time. You all have been very helpful and patient as I'm just kind of staring. Let me just look at working on the pages. All right. Yep. That's good info, Brent. You're welcome. Hey, Floran, what keyword is used more often, virtual therapy or online therapy? Okay. Well, let's just check it out. Thank you. My wife just brought me coffee. Very sweet of her. Let's see. Virtual therapy, online therapy, online counseling, virtual counseling. All right, let's just do a search here and see what do we got? What? Upgrade to compare metrics across all locations. I just want US. Why is that so hard? Okay. Search volume, online therapy. This is predicting search volume 101,000 versus online counseling, which is 18. So I would say online therapy would be the one to go. Good question. How do we build up local SEO? Yes, lots of time. That's a longer conversation, but I would focus on location pages like I showed you here, especially in those close little towns. I think it's going to be similar to Chicago. So you want to build out location pages. That's our SEO rich there. And then building up your Google business profile, getting those reviews, strengthening that. And then you might need to look at a Yelp too, just to try that. But that's just Google. Yelp is going to be if you want to try to focusing on other platforms like Apple and other and maybe even Claude as well. So that's a longer conversation that I'm working. Be gentle, Brad. I love that. I didn't hear the answer to Randall's questions. Would you mind repeating? Sorry. Oh, I don't know if I remember that. Okay, great. Randall. Oh yeah. Go to the YouTube channel on the ethics video. All right. So we're coming to an end here. Just a couple things I want to touch base on. Let's see here. I already talked about the websites that we build and we do. If you're interested on the premium plan for us, either rebuilding a site or building a custom HTML filtering, clinician filtering, we can do that. We host it, we back it up, we make the updates for you for your website and for the code. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. I guess I can't say that enough, but I'm trying to grow it. And I really do have some great videos up there for you. And I'm going to try to be doing more of these webinars, hopefully once a month. I'm going to be doing more of this and getting back on the content wheel. And if you are interested in, I'm curious, yes, on the therapist. Yes, you're welcome. Yeah, I'm curious. What do you want to hear next? Like what's kind of one of those marketing itches that you want me to explore and provide some content on? I will be breaking down more of what I've done to my wife's website to help it rank more on the AI side. But any SEO that you do is going to be positive for other like Claude and ChatGPT. It's the tide that rises all ships. SEO is still going to be important. It's just changing all the time and how you have to do it. But I think if you focus local, it's going to be really important. Building your brand locally, brand. That is the key. Building a brand. You want people typing your name into Google, and that is a signal to Google that you are an important business. So the more people doing it, the more helpful. Oh, look at all this. We got a lot of Google ads. Yeah, you're welcome. Google ads. Okay, yeah. Oh, we got to talk about, okay. All right. I'll break down Google ads. I run Google ads for a handful of practices, so I got a lot. Google ads stinks. It's trash. It's gotten trashier. So creating painless videos for provider pages, that's the system that can be easy and sustainable. The other trick of the trade. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Videos for your clinician pages. Okay. I'll write that down. Email marketing is another one. Very important. Oh yes. Email marketing. Yeah. You know what? I've done this before. It could be either on this page or it might be on my old YouTube channel, The Brand Your Practice. So I'll just do, if you go to YouTube, just do Brand Your Practice. Let's type in Brent here. You'll see the little logo here. Let's jump into that. And then if you just do a search for email, I do a bit of a deep dive on some of these, how to start an email newsletter, how to automate your email, how to grow your list. So some of these things are older, but they stand the test of time, honestly. They really do. All right. Well, if you don't have a TheraSAS account yet, be sure to go over to therasas.com, schedule a demo with me. I'll walk you through the platform and see if it's a good fit for you or not. Thank you so much for spending an hour of your time with me. And we'll see you guys on the next webinar or at a conference. Thank you all. Appreciate your time.